It'll leave us with one huge bank, which is the Federal Reserve, who has no assets. They just put it on use. And print the money out and get all the currency and then whatever you do down before you know it in the bank. This is in the bank, you're gonna have stuff. It less than you're calling it back out and bring it less than that.
It's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First item will be roll call.
Brown. David.
Here.
Turkey.
Here.
Gray.
Here.
Nail.
Here.
Walk.
Here. Say pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone will take a moment of silence if they like. Take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Everyone's had a chance to look over previous meetings minutes. If there are no additions or corrections, we'll stand approved as presented. Visitors for Faith Kings and Aaron Crawford.
Yes, sir.
No other comments sent in. So
Could I say something? We, at the Democrat, wanted to thank PCAD, our publisher, Bell, at the office down the street from you all last week. I rushed down to ask for help. And we really appreciate you coming and helping. She is bruised, she doesn't have any broken bones, but we do appreciate you helping us there. You're welcome.
It's always nice to have a call we can walk to.
Did you turn your siren on?
No.
now we're going in straight. Reports, CFO.
Alright. So on page 3 is the first page. Sales tax receipts. And for the year to date. July. Was $326,794.76. So it was up about 8,800 over last year. Year over year, we're up about 150,000 or 7.24%. Bank balances as of July 20th. And versus June 23rd, we're up about 110,000. And I just highlighted that treasury note is gonna mature on the 31st. So next week, that'll mature. So I'll be gone next board meeting, so we can get you the information if you guys wanna look at that next board meeting. The bottom half is year over year, July 20th, 2023 versus 22. You can see the increase there of 1.7 million year over year. Any questions on any of that? Page 5 just has the cash reserve chart. 29 picture. Page 6 is our cash reserve analysis. Pretty much the same as it was last month, just up slightly. Any questions on any of that? Okay, the check register is pages 7 through 11. Any questions on any of that? There's no questions on that. Page 12 is the current bills due. Pages 13 and 14 are the details of those bills.
The special waste services,
Yes,
what is that?
so it's our biohazard.
Oh, okay.
What was it, which services?
Biohazard.
The 185 that's in greater than 90, I guess they just laid invoice to.
I don't know why it's over there because the invoice date is 7. Oh, I put 22 instead of 20.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'll fix that. Thank you. Like, I don't know why.
Why they're just late ones.
I'll fix that. Trying to go back in time. Any other questions on any of the bills? That is it.
Were there any other questions for Jane? If not, I would take a motion to receive the CFO.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And take a motion to approve payment of outstanding bills.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. See, we didn't have a chief's report on here. Move on to unfinished business, ambulance purchase, 2025, pages 15 and 16.
Jamie, do you want to talk about the numbers on that page, or is that still handed out, or is that?
Yeah, so that page is just our equipment replacement plan. It's just the vehicle portion of that for the next 5 years, just to give you an idea where we're at. So for 2025, we have scheduled remounts. And we had the last remount quote we had is that 173 for 4276. But the new one is on page 16, is roughly 195,000. So it's an increase of about 21,000. 12% over what?
Same vendor.
Yeah.
The remount turn around quicker than a new ambulance.
What did they say? I thought it was like.
No, it's, I mean, it's not quicker at all, but it's quicker than a new build. So a new build's 3 years right now, and a remount's 2 years.
So on page 6 on the bottom, it shows where we're at with ambulances on order. So we've got 2 new ones on order and 3 remounts right now on order. And that first one they pushed back to next year.
Yeah, be early next year.
So we ordered that in September of 2021, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Are the large metropolitan areas getting preferential? They're waiting this long for stuff too?
everybody's waiting. I mean, there's been all kinds of letters to the Congress and the president. It's everyone, everyone's in the same
How
boat.
many vendors nationwide build these? One?
No, there's more than one, but the problem is the chassis, is my understanding.
A lot of chassis, somewhat raw materials, primarily chassis, and the other big factor is number of people working in the factories. They can't keep staff. There's COVID, there's staff.
We're never gonna get all those electric vehicles then. I bet you they're 12 years out.
Yeah.
That's crazy that there's not more competition in this area. If it's limiting factors, the chassis.
And personnel, don't forget it.
And Roy, didn't you say, you even asked them if we needed to change the chassis?
Yes,
And
Yeah, I asked about chassis brand. I mean, you know, we're not exclusively Ford. I mean, it'd be nice to keep them the same, but it doesn't have to be. And they told me that Ford's actually one of the easier ones to get, but you factor in the staffing, and then you factor in, you know, we have at present 5 ambulances on order. You know, and that's just us. Everybody else has handfuls of ambulances on order. They got a backlog now that.
That's why I was wondering if there's any line jumping going on for some big city. I'll be darned.
If this continues, are we going to be in trouble?
I don't think it's necessarily trouble, but financially, we're going to spend more on maintenance. That's just a given. Anytime they get over about 170,000 is when they really start giving us trouble. We're looking at transmission, front end, rear end, motor. We're having some current problems right now with that too. Blowing spark plugs and exhaust manifold brakes, and just they'll nickel and dime us a lot because we'll have to keep it going.
And we had like the lifetime warranty on just the last one we bought. Did we do an extended warranty?
Extended.
That was just the motor though, wasn't it?
That was just
That was just the motor, wasn't it?
drivetrain.
Yeah, well, okay, but nothing to do with the peripherals.
Yeah, the boxes, we really haven't had any trouble with. The AVs are very well put together boxes. They're safe and they're sturdy and everything in them lasts. We've had issues to be expected over, you know, small electrical issues, but we haven't had, I think we've only had one major AC repair in the last year. So it's not the boxes that I'm worried about, it's the drive chassis, drivetrain and chassis, just wearing out. They do get used pretty hard.
But there was like $2,400 for a rear differential. That's part of the drivetrain. So that'd be covered on the other one.
In my mind, yeah, we covered on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of stuff.
It'll help, but the new unit one, I say new unit one, because we resurrected the old unit ones, put it back in service as a partial backup ambulance. Because of the fact that we've already decommissioned, unit 8. That's one of the old transits, it's got a blown turbos, it's not. The schedule that you see, obviously the prices have changed, but we're on track to, those are pretty active when they'll need to be replaced. Our highest mileage ones are, let's see, 3, 4, 10, and 11. And they're all, save for one, over 164,000 miles on those. So a rotation schedule, everything's working except for the supply side of this equation. So it's just taking extraordinarily long. And I know Roy's had several conversations with him. I've asked, everybody's asking the same question. You know, if we order more now, is it gonna make a difference? And the answer is resounding, we don't know. Because of the availability, but it's not looking very promising on the future. Our transportation secretary was actually speaking about our issue the other day, so I know that some of our efforts to get those concerns up the hill to Washington DC have been heard at least.
Is law enforcement facing these same issues, getting automobiles decked out for police use? Is a fire truck
Fire trucks,
3 years out?
Fire trucks are even worse. Yeah, fire trucks are even worse than us. And the departments that are hit hardest by this are your small departments, with 1 or 2 ambulances. They're the ones that are really catching those.
Yeah, because when you lose your ambulance, you're half your ambulance that are out.
Unfortunately, yeah, you have the Prius or the Uber at that point, but please don't. But yeah, your options are dwindling most rapidly at this point. So I mean, I consider us to be lucky in the situation we're in, that we do have those reserve ambulances, even though, you know, we've had to limp them along. It's better than the alternative, better than some of the smaller services.
So you're about 2.5 years out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're saying 2 years for a remount, 3 years for a new build. And just by way of comparison, pre-pandemic, that was anywhere from 3 to 4 months for a rebound, and we were seeing new units come back as early as 4 to 6 months. So we've quadrupled, if not more, our build time.
Do we have things in place that conserve the number of miles that we're putting on them?
Not really. It's still, when the calls happen, and we gotta run, we don't do
I mean,
anything more.
And I guess I sometimes see them at Woods or something and getting groceries or.
Yeah, compared to the transport miles, it's nothing. One of the things we can look at, that I've found, a lot of the issues with an ambulance, the newer trucks aren't so bad, but a lot of the issues with the 450s and trucks of similar make and model are idle time. Ambulances, as well as fire trucks, get a lot of their hours put on them just in idle time, whether they're parked on scene, whether they're, it's just they're sitting there
You
running
can't turn them
around.
off, yeah.
There is a unit that's basically an APU that it keeps everything charging and back. And then as soon as it drops below, it's a big battery unit basically. And as soon as it drops below a certain amperage, it starts the engine automatically. So a lot of those, they were selling, again, pre-pandemic, they were selling for about 16,000 a piece. So I don't know if there's a cost benefit to look at there or what they're going for now. But it could theoretically extend the life of the ambulance. But beyond that, really not much.
May not be worth that cost.
Yeah, which we do try and limit, PCAD is always, I've always tried to limit the number of calls we respond lights and sirens to. Most of the time, it's not really changing anything. Sometimes it's necessary. We rarely transport anything lights and sirens, so that's a big part of putting that wear and tear on the ambulances. So we try and limit it that way. Of course, idle time, we've got AC in all of our bays, so we don't leave stuff parked outside, running, unless it generally has to. So I think we're mitigating it pretty well. I don't know what more we can do. Certainly aware of it, keeping an eye on it, but I think everything we have in place is short of being able to get new ambulances, is the best we can do right now. But I think we do have to probably look at doing the same thing everybody else is and putting them on order. Even if we can't get them, at least our name. Be able to see we're in line. We can always, we're not committed to buy. We can always back out if something else happens, or if, say, another vendor comes up that's equivalent to the AEVs, which there's really not anybody right now, but you never know. Keep that door open, of course. But yeah, that would be my only thing is, if we need to get our name on as many as we can right now.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. So do you need the board to approve that?
I think so. I think we've already been approved to purchase the ones that were normally on this plan. I don't know what you guys think about.
So are we approving extra units, or are we just approving the price hike?
Just approving ordering them. That's it.
Get our names on that list that way.
Yeah.
So the question is, when we have our new station, will we need additional ambulances?
Why? As a reserve?
Well,
Just
just,
to add a group, what you're asking.
right, are we gonna need, because we're close on the plan to have to add.
Yeah. By the time it gets built, I would predict that we'll be over 10,000 easily. We're getting real close this year, probably within 4, maybe 500 tops.
So
Reach that.
when you say build it, and they will come.
Yes.
So,
It is Field of Dreams Theory 101. Yeah.
yeah, so that will put us over that limit. So maybe we need to think about getting that extra one just for the volume.
Yeah. If we pull it, cuts down on our reserve units. But like I said, even the order time, I don't know that we'll necessarily have the extra one, but
That's why.
we did have a 2-to-1 reserve.
Yeah, but still, there's no penalty for putting in the order.
Right.
So probably Steve's right there. You should be proactive, slot another one and.
Yeah, I know, that worries me
Why
too,
two?
as much as when we've added a bay, and you look at the call volume, when we look at those.
Yeah. It's all about that. And if we order it now, we'll have a station built before we have any of those ambulances delivered.
Yeah, so I want,
So,
Every time we have 4 ambulances, you have to put another wing on the hospital.
No.
See how that works?
So it sounds like it'd be prudent to order 2 to 4 more and get our name on the list.
At least one whole new one, because I know we're on the schedule for remounts, but we might need to do a new one.
I'd say at least get on there for 2.
I'd say 2,
You're still 2 years out.
Yeah.
3 years out.
3 years out, so.
Yeah. I would recommend.
So that'd be 2026.
Again, if it's not.
And if you cancel, everybody else moves up one, so they're tickled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
So that would be 4 to get to 2026 and then 5 if you had a new unit. Because we've already ordered all
Right.
of those.
But they won't get here till.
No, we won't get them till then either, but
We need to keep some in the line
And we have
going.
4 now that are over 150,000.
Well, we have 6 now that are over 150,000, but 2 of those are the transits. So,
Right. Those, but they're not the
yeah,
key worker.
yeah.
Because
In other words,
2
we
more.
can't remount those. Those are not remountable. We have to replace them.
that's the 2 new ones we have on order is to replace those.
Right.
2 more will reduce the number of miles
So
you
beyond
put on
that,
per year, so you'll get a little bit more longevity out of what you got.
Should. Unless you're using them from the other end.
And we've also circled the wagons when it comes to maintenance, preventative maintenance, there's crack down on that, and put a little more into that than we did in the past, just to hopefully stave off some of these higher dollar repairs. Some of it will make a difference, some of it won't, but yeah, it's always drivetrain stuff, that's the big money, the ambulance killer. Motor and transmission.
So what are you saying, Steve? We put it in for 5?
I like the plan and the remount plan. It's just, we probably ought to at least put it in for 2.
Yeah.
I don't want
Overkill.
2 new builds.
yeah.
And then.
And then
top of
still
it,
going,
remounts.
yeah,
Okay.
it's still needs to be your remount.
Yeah.
Right. So we're getting 2 and 2 then.
2 remounts and 2 new.
Well, your schedule is still
Yeah, that's the 2
good,
That's right.
yeah, and you just add 2 new.
Yeah.
So is that a motion to approve ordering those?
Make a motion to add 2, order 2, get them in the pipeline.
Second.
2 remounts and 2 new.
All right.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Does that cover what we did originally, plus the 2 more?
So that would get us 2 remounts would be our 2025 units. And then 2 additional would either be 2026 or adding.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Automatic transfer switch replacement, station 2.
Station 2's generator is out of warranty. The transfer switch has failed us a couple times relatively recently. Utility company cut power out there and it did not click on. Brian, I put you on the spot, but Brian knows a lot more about that even than I do. He dealt with them, all the testing procedures and that switch in particular, as far as we can replace the one that's on there that's not reliable, that we've already had trouble with, that has a higher lead time on parts, I believe. Or we can upgrade it to a more reliable switch. My recommendation is also Ryan's go to the higher dollar, more reliable switch. I don't know how much service there's even left on, if we did the old style switch, we might be looking at having a hard time finding any parts or anything that might need for that, as opposed to this.
What would the cost of redoing the old style switch be?
It's half price, but worse about 4 months out.
Half price, 4 months and no guarantee. What's the warranty on the new one?
Papers with me. Yeah, one precision.
I don't see anything about warranty.
Yeah, it's not, right.
Was there something in the email you sent?
Yeah.
How many stars on Amazon?
2-year warranty.
2-year warranty, okay.
It's just standard for all those. It's a several year deal. If we had serviced once under warranty for the same issue, they replaced the parts about a year after it was installed. It's a company out of Canada that makes the parts, and so it also adds the time for it to go to the customers. So the absolute better quality switch should have good problems.
Yeah, the generator itself is in good shape. It's just primarily the switches.
Those electronics completely fail.
It would seem to me that the most prudent would be to install the new one with the warranty than to spend half that much, lose 4 months and still have no guarantee and no likelihood that what we're doing isn't what we're gonna get again. I would motion to accept this bid.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Any other vendors? This,
I
that's
shop
fine.
around, probably they're all highly end. This is the one that's in stock. Currently, we get it rapidly.
And they're in town. I saw them over at Best Western this morning.
Yeah, they're selling the one generator today.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Since we have no new business, I would take a motion to go into closed session pursuant to RSMO 610.021, sections 2.
Second.
All in favor, and that'll be roll call.
Davis? Sorry. Gerke?
Yes.
Graves?
Yes.
Nail?
Yep.
Walker?
Yes.
Yeah.